Let's now go across to Vardhan Agarwal, who is the president of FICCI, and of course the MD at Emami, to get his view, his perspectives on what the budget offerings were. Mr. Harshvardhan Agarwal, thanks very much for joining us here on ET Now. First things first, your key takeaways on what the budget really provided in terms of consumption, in terms of tax relief, etc. What really stood out for you?
I think there are two very, very important takeouts for me. First of all, that it's a inclusive budget where the government has tried to bring in and focus on agriculture, rural, women, poor, MSMEs. So ultimately, which constitutes a very large part of the economy and a large part of the population, which certainly, has the potential to help the overall growth of the economy. And secondly, the big news is certainly, the income tax rate, where no tax till the income of 12 lakhs. I think that's a big announcement, because that is certainly one of the big ask, even from the industry and also from FICCI, where we believe such a step will certainly help in the increase in consumption.
All right, Mr. Agarwal, the other big demand from FICCI as well as other industry bodies was to give manufacturing a boost, given that the Make in India campaign has going rather robust since past many years. And it is something that the Prime Minister has, of course, reiterated over and over again, that we should not just be making in India, but making for the world. So there were some offerings in terms of export promotion as well. Now, we do know that there are certain geopolitical challenges that are emanating from global economic front. Does the budget really address those challenges with respect to boosting domestic production and boosting of exports? How is it really balancing all of those parameters?
See, I think, from the perspective of the vision of Viksit Bharat, where manufacturing, needs to increase from 15% to around 25% by 2047. It's one of the biggest area and very important area for the government if they have to achieve their goal of Viksit Bharat. From that perspective, yes, I think government has tried to give a lot of initiatives, especially in the areas which is labor intensive, like toys, leather, footwear. Tourism again has been one of the areas where government is trying to focus again, because it's a labor intensive industry. So in manufacturing and overall in Make in India, the focus this time has been more in the area of or sectors and industries which are more labor intensive. Apart from that, the announcement of the manufacturing, the National Manufacturing Mission, and also in the similar line, export mission is a very welcome move, from the industry perspective. Yes, though we will wait to see the details, but yes, keeping the initiatives which has been taken up by the government, I think it will give a boost to the overall manufacturing going forward. And again, if the consumption improves, it will give more confidence to the industry also to go ahead for more investment and hence boosting the manufacturing scenario.
Yes, Mr. Agarwal, that is the expectation. And now you know that the government has done heavy lifting in terms of boosting the capex or boosting infrastructure needs of the country. But there's been a persistent view that it is now the private sector that really needs to step on the gas as far as putting in investments is concerned. Your thoughts on that? And do you think the animal spirits could now be unleashed? If you could also throw some light on that, because we did hear the chief economic advisor say that domestic demand is going to be key. It is going to be more important as compared to global demand or global factors. We need to focus on domestic factors more.
See, I think overall, if you see, it's not that the private investment has not been happening. It's been happening. It has grown, but yes, not to the extent what one would have expected. Yes, going forward, if you ask me whether I expect it to grow, yes, certainly, if you see many companies, their balance sheets are deleveraged, the capacity utilization is at a healthy level of somewhere around 75-76%. And going forward, if the consumption increases, certainly, people will look forward for expansion or even into more of greenfield. In fact, we did a small survey with our members where around 70% of the members said, they are looking forward for expansion or, investing in further capacity, etc. So I think overall, I'm quite positive, that we will see an upsurge in the private investment as well.
All right. On that note, thank you very much, Mr. Agarwal, for sharing your thoughts with us on what the union budget really means for industries and, of course, for your sector in particular when it comes to a consumption boost that was very much expected from the government at this point in time. Thanks once again for joining us here on ET Now.